we had 20 companies. 5 of them have recently successfully submitted their responses. The 15 that are still suspended include Middle East Consultants Limited. This one has a number of Ugandans who were supposed to be externalized through Middle East, and they claim monies that should be refunded to them. They have continuously been refunding, but until the last refunds are made, the suspension still holds. The other is Al Saud Agency. Their renewal documents had issues. There was suspicion of forgery in some of those documents, and the company was suspended. There is Eagles Supervision Limited. That one, it's because of accumulated refund claims. There is Forbes Enterprises Limited. That one is being investigated for human trafficking. I found the minister explaining that if you take Ugandans out of this country and externalize them without going through the due process, then the company is suspended for human trafficking. So there is a difference between those migrant workers that are cleared by government and those that are taken without that clearance. The latter is called human trafficking. And like you heard, these are many of the cases that you get out there crying out because the terms of their being taken are not clear to them, to government, to anybody. Not even the embassy is aware of their presence in some of these countries. So Forbes was suspended for human trafficking. Fly International Jobs Uganda Limited, forgery of the renewal documents. There is Top Notch Recruitment Services Limited, also suspicion of forged renewal documents. Al Sultan Recruitment Company Limited, forged PCR certificates. PCR is the certificate you get after the COVID test has been done. Some of the companies, for purposes of trying to get their people cleared fast, have been found to present forged PCR certificates. Some of these are detected at the point of immigration, and that is when, once that information is brought back to the ministry, that company X was trying to externalize migrant workers with forged PCR certificates, that attracts a suspension. Golden Star Recruitment Agencies Limited, for a forged job order. The companies that we clear to externalize must have a job order from a recruitment company to the in the destination country, and they respond now and mobilize labor based on the order that has been submitted to the Ministry for clearance. So if you present a forged job order, that too attracts sanctions. Hala Uganda Recruitment Limited, for a forged training report. And there are several under this category with forged training reports that we have suspended. There is Pearl of Makar International Limited. There is Nile Treasure Gate Company. There is Al Madina Agency Limited. There is Cornell Recruitment Center Uganda Limited. There is Tempro International Limited. All of them forged training reports. The new regulations require that before migrant workers are externalized, they should undergo training and orientation for a period of 2 weeks. Previous regulations required 7 days, which is 1 week. But because of the challenges associated with this whole process, we felt it necessary to increase the orientation period to 14 days. And why is it important? There are many of our young people that are desperate to go and work out there, and they find themselves exposed to a cultural shock in terms of the expectations the other side, in terms of the discipline that is required in the society that they are being externalized to. There are several things. So if one simply moves without being inducted and oriented into what the expectations of this kind of process are, those are people that find a lot of challenges adjusting to the demands of work out there. They sign contracts. Some of them don't even know what is in those contracts. But because they are hurrying to leave, they get there, work for a few months, and after accumulating some saving which they think is enough for them to come back and settle and do their work, they want to get back quickly. Because as you've heard from the minister, they are paid up to 1 million shillings, and some of them more than that. So for one who has not been employed here, who has not been earning, you go out there and you start earning 1 million shillings a month. Within 8 months, you could have saved between 5 and probably 8 million shillings. And if you wanted to do business in the market or set up a small enterprise here, some of them get tempted to want to return before the 2 years that they are contracted to work out there elapse. And that also creates a number of problems for them. So that's why we place a lot of emphasis on the training, on the orientation, so that they don't find difficulty adjusting to the demands of the work they have to do out there. And then the last one is Pella Recruitment Agency, which presented a forged clearance at the airport. We have a desk of the ministry at the airport where all these migrant workers and the firms that are externalizing them are expected to report first. They check and make sure that they have met all the requirements before they are then cleared to travel. So the biggest challenge I think that there is out there is not so much the migrant workers who are externalized through the established procedures. Actually, those, even when they get out there, have no problem reporting challenges that they face to the embassy. But those that are trafficked will hide. And even when they get there, the people who traffic them normally remove their travel documents, remove passports. They don't even see their contracts because their terms are not clear. And those are the many Ugandans that you find suffering out there who are now a legitimate concern of government, but working with the immigration authorities, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we think that is our next battle line as far as addressing decent externalization of labor is concerned for our people.